Morning, sir.
Thank you for seeing me, Judge.
Of course.
Come before you. I don't really know what I'm doing. I just know that I came before you and I was from out of state. You tried to help me and I was kind of telling you that it was going to be dismissed anyway. I was here 9 days. They shipped me to Arkansas for 30 minutes. It was all done. Set to be dismissed on the 9th. However, the police that stopped me had my car towed and put a card in my property. And so my car was sitting there the whole time. And so I had to find my way back to Houston since I've been having Uber back and forth to try to, and I couldn't get my car. It was $540, now it's $1,400. So look, you got 4 days, sir, and we're gonna auction off your car. But then they said, if the judge you went before, if he gives you an order, we will release your car, zero balance. Again, Judge,
I can't give you an order to give you your car back. That would be me, in essence, ordering a company that does business to lose money to give you your car back because you don't want to pay to get the car back.
I don't want them to lose money. The thing is, my car was towed erroneously. I was at home. That's why I want to show you the police report. I was at home.
To file a complaint with the police, internal affairs. If you're telling me that something was done illegally, immorally, or whatnot, you need to file paperwork with that appropriate agency. But I cannot order a private company to return something to you. I don't have that kind of jurisdiction.
What do they mean if you get a judge's order and we release it?
Maybe a civil judge's order. I'm a criminal court judge. The only time I can ever order any kind of property return would be if it's confiscated by the state and they're holding it. So let's say you get arrested, you get pulled over, and you have a gun on you, right? They take your gun and they put it in the HPD property room, right? In that respect, under certain circumstances, I may be able to order them to return it because it's in the care, custody, and control of the state via HPD. Here, your car was towed by a private company and they're holding it, and it sucks. I get it that the bill has ballooned as much as it has. If you ever have a problem, you can always file a complaint with the bail bond, not the bail bond board, but there is a actual board for, there's a towing board too, isn't there?
I'm looking at it, yes.
It's a towing regulation.
There's
a request for a hearing, but I'm reading that it's gotta be before the 14th day after the vehicle was removed, is that you have to submit a tow request. The forms are all here. It's 50.
And maybe the fact that you're in custody may toll. I don't know, but I'm not versed on that kind of, and I'm not, number one, number two, I'm not allowed to even give legal advice, but I don't know. But I can't order them to give you your car back. You know, that would literally be me telling them, hey man, you know, just forget about all the money that you've made by holding the car, just give the man his property back. I can't do that. I don't have the jurisdiction. Maybe a civil court under certain circumstances may order it back, but you'd have to file a lawsuit. You'd have to file some kind of paperwork.
All right, well, I'm gonna pray for a miracle.
What I would do, perhaps, can you get on a payment plan with them and say, hey, look.
Try that. They zero tolerance. I mean, honestly,
And I have to understand, because imagine how many times they've probably gotten yanked, you know?
Yeah. I wish.
But theoretically, even if I were to give you a court order now, my guess would, they would hire a lawyer, file a motion to quash my order, saying that, hey, he doesn't have the proper jurisdiction to do this, right? And then they may come after you for attorney's fees. My
manager's like, hey man, if you give it to order, I'll release your car to you. He understood what happened. He said, man, just bring me something. I'll release it to you. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go try.
And you know, a lot of times they say stuff just to get you out, you know, but I can't. I'm sorry. But like I said, perhaps if you talk with the owner, you may be able to negotiate something with them. If you talk with if you talk with someone who has no power to negotiate, you always, if you talk to the right person, if you talk to them at the right time, you may get what you want. So don't go to them at 4 o'clock in the afternoon because they've been working, they're tired, they've probably dealt with a lot of people. All they want to do is go home, but go there first thing in the morning, try to get to the owner and say, hey, look, here's my circumstance, here's the proof. Work with me. I want my car back. And I don't know, what do you think? Anything else for you?
No, I'll help him out with the tow lot information, and I also have got a copy of HPD's agreement with private tow lots, so that maybe that can help him out.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm sorry. But,
Yes.
you never know, it doesn't hurt to try. Just keep trying it.
I'm praying for that.
Yeah, look,
Yes. Thank you.
okay. Is it Chaston?
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 Yes,
Miss
sir.
Blackburn, you're charged with driving while intoxicated. You're also charged with unlawful carrying of a weapon. On the gun case, you're facing up to a year and or a $4,000 fine. And on the DWI, you're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. If you cannot afford a lawyer will be appointed to represent you, ma'am. Okay.
Officers were conducting an unrelated fatal accident investigation when they observed the defendant's vehicle traveling at a high rate of speed toward the blocked portion of the roadway. Officers saw the defendant disregard a barricade and were able to successfully get the defendant to stop by shouting verbal commands and utilizing their flashlights. Upon contact, officers observed a moderate odor of alcoholic beverage, glassy, watery, bloodshot eyes, and slurred speech. The defendant admitted to having 3 drinks at a nearby bar and was temporarily detained. SFSTs were conducted, 4 out of 6 HGN, 4 out of 8 walk and turn, and 2 out of 4 one-leg stand. DICs were read and breath was consented to. The defendant blew a .086 and a .084. During search of the vehicle, officers located a handgun within the center console. She doesn't have any priors, Judge, and she does have an eligible driver's license.
All right, Ms. Blackburn, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with your case. I'm ordering you as a condition of your bond not to consume alcohol, illegal drugs, or unprescribed controlled medication. I'm going to randomly test you. If I find that you're using alcohol or drugs, you will go to jail. You will not get any more PR bonds. Do you understand?
Yes.
Do you have a lawyer, ma'am? Tell me, what do you do for a living?
Stay at her mom since I was 21. I just started a part-time job at HEB 2 days a week.
Okay, so you're married?
Married.
What does your husband do for a living?
We're in real estate.
Okay, do you have the ability to hire a lawyer?
No. And he can try.
So what we'll do is I can give you time.
Okay.
What we normally do is we reset cases for 30 days to give you time to go hire a lawyer. But this is a DWI and there's a lot of timing requirements with the DWI. So don't just sit and wait a month or 2 months because you're only hurting yourself. You need to get on it. You need to get on it quick. Okay, if you have any issues, you can come back and tell us and then we can go from there. Okay, for now, I'll have you go to Ramona, sign a reset. We'll get with Felicia for your bond conditions and after that, you'll be free to go. All right. Thanks. Good morning, Mr. Egan. Sir, you're charged with driving while intoxicated. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one will be appointed to you, sir.
On November 28, 2024, officers conducted a traffic stop on defendant's motor vehicle after observing it pass him at a high rate of speed, make multiple lane changes, and swerve in and around cars in a reckless manner. Officer accelerated to catch up to defendant and reached speeds of over 100 miles per hour to keep up with him. The defendant traveled about 7 miles in about 4 minutes. Upon contact with the defendant, officer observed glassy eyes, a strong odor of alcoholic beverage, an open beer can in the center console, a 6-pack of beer in the passenger seat, and spilt beer that was still cool to the touch in the front passenger seat.
Drinking while driving?
Yes, Judge. The defendant admitted to drinking. SFSTs were conducted, 4 out of 6 HGN, 6 out of 8 walk and turn, 2 out of 4 one-leg stand. DICs were read and consented to. The defendant blew a .147 and a .139. He does have an eligible driver's license, Judge.
Can you look to see if he has any prior DWIs, please?
He had a DWI out of Travis County, but he was released without prosecution, Judge. So it's just a charge.
2 things. I am ordering you not to drive at all. You will be signing an affidavit with me today, Mr. Egan. This is a promise that you're going to make to me that you're not going to drive. I don't give a rat's behind what your excuse is. I don't care if Mother Teresa needs to ride to church. If I find that you drive, I can have a contempt hearing. You can be facing an additional 6 months in jail and a $500 fine every time you drive because it's an offense in and of itself. Do you understand? I'm also now ordering you to obtain a handheld interlock device that you're going to take with you everywhere you go to prove to me that you're not consuming alcohol. At the next time, if I find that you violate conditions, I will revoke your bond, put you in jail. You will not get any more PR bonds. Do you understand me? We are sending a court order to DPS in Austin so that every single officer in this state will know that if you are pulled over, any car that you're to drive must have an ignition interlock on it. I'm ordering you not to drive at all. But if at some point you do, by some miracle, get the ability to drive, I'm ordering you not to drive any vehicle that doesn't have an ignition interlock on it. So if you're caught driving a vehicle and it doesn't have an interlock on it, you will go to jail. Do you understand? And then if I find that you drive, we can have a contempt hearing. So just don't drive and don't use alcohol. Do you understand? Or illegal drugs. We are going to reset your case to give you time to hire a lawyer. So I will have you come up here, swear to us that you're not going to drive. I'll get you to Ramona Senate.
No, sir. You're still talking. Sorry.
I will get you to Ramona sign a reset. You will then get with Felicia for your bond conditions, and after that, we'll let you go. Don't pick up any new cases. Behave yourself, because I'm going to tell you now, Mr. Egan, I will do everything in my power to protect my streets. And if that means locking you up and putting your bond in a sky-high amount, I'll do it in a heartbeat. Do you understand? All right.
You need someone from the state?
Stay, please. You are Carlos Gomez.
Yes, sir.
Shh. Mr. Gomez, you're charged with driving while intoxicated. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. You guys have worked out an agreement where they're offering you 180 days in jail to be probated for 12 months. Is this a second being reduced to a first? Is it a true first?
No, Judge, so he had a prior DWI that was dismissed via our PTI program.
Okay, so repeat offender then. Okay, the reason I'm asking you is because, or the reason I'm asking is because we have different types of education programs. You already did one education program and that didn't take. So now we have to do the repeat offender DWI education class in hopes that that one works, because you pick up another one. From now on, you will be facing a minimum of 30 days in jail. No more proverbial slaps on the wrist. Do you understand? You give up a lot of rights by entering this agreement. You give up the right to a trial, right to compel witnesses to testify on your behalf, confront and cross-examine your accusers. If you're not a citizen, there are possible immigration consequences. You can be deported, excluded from the country, denied naturalization under federal law. You give up the right to appeal. Once you plead guilty, this will go on your record. It's going to be there for the rest of your life. What do you think an officer is going to do if they come up to your car, they see DWI dismissed, DWI conviction, and then they smell alcohol? What do you think they're going to do? Sorry?
They'd take me.
I would venture to guess, no questions asked. Don't matter if it's just even the faintest smell of alcohol, faintest smell of weed, anything funky in your car, they smell it, they're going to take you down, because all they look at, your priors and what you smell like. That 2 and 2 together, that's all they look at. Do you understand?
Sure.
So I would never, even if you had just a sip of alcohol, I wouldn't get into a car, because it's a huge and it's a humongous financial gamble. Do you understand?
Sure.
As part of this agreement, you will do, like I said, the repeat offender DWI education class, 1 victim impact panel. You will also do a TRAS, which is an evaluation to see what other conditions you may need. If they assess other conditions like intensive outpatient treatment, supportive outpatient treatment program, you must fulfill those additional things. Substance abuse treatment, no drugs, no alcohol, random urinalysis, no breath test refusal. So if you're pulled over in a car and an officer asks you to submit to a breath sample, you must take it. Guardian interlock, 23 hours of community service, and a $100 one-time donation to the Houston Food Bank. This is how you understand the agreement.
Sure.
If you fail to live up to your side of the bargain, you test positive for alcohol, don't do your classes on time. If you pick up a new case, if you drive on a suspended license, we will issue a warrant for your arrest. I'm going to put you in jail. I'm going to roll you back out here in orange. We're going to discuss whether you violated your probation. If you did, you're looking at 180 days in jail. Do you understand?
Yes, sir. I understand.
Still want to do this? Okay, how do you plead to the offense? Guilty or not guilty?
Okay.
I'll find you guilty. I will follow the agreement, send you to it. Max, about the fines and fees and surcharges, what do you do for a living, sir?
Driving.
What kind of money do you make?
Uh,
You have a CDL?
yes, I got you.
You realize that the CDL is now going to be suspended. You realize that a second DWI conviction, you'll lose that CDL for life. Do you realize that? Yeah, a second DWI conviction, you'll lose the CDL for a life. When you are a CDL driver, you are held to a higher standard. The entire world is at a 0.08 legally, right? For what they consider intoxication. When you have a CDL, it's even lower. It's at a 0.04 or 0.05. You are held to a higher standard because you were supposed to be better, do better because of that CDL. You will be required to pay the supervisory fees. And I want you to understand that if you don't pay it, you will go to jail. Every $100 that you owe is 1 day in jail that you will do. So we have to get through to you somehow. I hope that this is it. But you got to understand that on our streets, every single day, someone dies from a DWI. And it's truly a pathetic and sad thing. That's what we are trying to prevent. And I hope that this is the last time.
Yes.
Do you understand? Because if not, we have a jail just waiting for you. All right. Good luck, sir. All right. So 3,000 and then whatever the court costs are, and then 2 years.
Have a sit on the first.